All right, so we're diving into Eat Your Age today. And I know what you're thinking, like another book about getting older. Is it going to be, all doom and gloom and like what you can't eat anymore and wrinkles?
It's funny you say that because that's exactly what this book is not. It's not about dreading getting older.
It's about like really feeling fantastic no matter how old you are.
Exactly. And the best part is, like, it really is grounded in solid science. Dr. Ian Smith really goes deep into how our bodies actually change over each decade.
It's like not just, vague advice. It's actually tailored to what your body needs at different stages.
Right. And what's really fascinating is he like weaves in all of these stories about people who are in their 70s, 80s, even 90s, and they're like defying all expectation.
Okay, wait, what are they doing? Give me some examples.
We're talking like running marathons, bodybuilding, even competing in Ironman triathlons.
Whoa.
It really makes you like rethink everything you thought you knew about aging.
It really does make you think, well, maybe I have more control than I realize.
Exactly. And one of the things the book highlights is that it's not just about, crazy exercise. He lays out these 15 ingredients for glorious aging.
Yeah.
And some of them are pretty surprising.
Like what? Give me a teaser.
Well, for example, did you know that protecting your skin from the sun when you're young can have a massive impact on how your skin looks, like decades later?
Oh, yeah. It's like a long game that we should all be playing.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't think about that in my 20s.
Right. It's like a delayed reaction. But he really makes a compelling case for why it's worth paying attention to your skin now.
So it's about being proactive.
Yeah.
And that makes sense, too, because the book also emphasizes, like, finding your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just as crucial as diet and exercise.
It's about living with intention, having something that gives you a sense of meaning. And like research has shown that having a strong sense of purpose can actually significantly impact both your health and your longevity.
It's about being engaged with life rather than just going through the motions.
Exactly. And to help you like tune into your body, the book provides this really simple method for measuring your heart rate.
Oh, cool.
It's so easy. You can do it anywhere.
So you can start paying attention to how your body responds to things, whether it's exercise or stress or even different foods.
That self-awareness is key. And speaking of exercise, he talks about exercising your heart dynamically.
What does that mean?
It's not just about like steady effort.
Yeah.
It's about varying the intensity of your workout to really challenge your heart muscle.
So like instead of just going for a long walk at the same pace, maybe you'd incorporate intervals of faster walking or even jogging.
Exactly. Or if you're on the treadmill, you can play around with the incline and the speed. It's about keeping your heart guessing
Oh, I see.
and working harder.
Makes sense. And it's not all just physical stuff either,
Yeah.
I was really interested in how much the book goes into the connection between stress and aging.
Yeah. That's something a lot of people don't fully grasp. The book explains how chronic stress can actually like speed up the aging process at a cellular level.
It's like stress is literally aging us from the inside out.
Exactly. And it's not just about looking older, but it's about the impact it has on your overall health.
So does he give any practical advice on how to manage stress?
Oh, absolutely. He offers a whole toolkit of techniques. Things like mindfulness practices, breathing exercises, even like simple lifestyle changes that can make a huge difference.
I'm starting to get the sense that this is like a really holistic approach to aging,
Yeah.
not just focusing on one aspect.
You're right on. And another interesting thing he talks about is increasing your vitamin C intake and gorging on antioxidants.
Oh, now that's where I get curious. What's the deal with antioxidants?
Well, he goes into the science behind it, but basically antioxidants can help protect your cells from damage caused by free radicals.
Okay.
And free radicals, they're one of the main culprits behind aging.
I see. So, like, eating a diet rich in antioxidants can actually help slow down the aging process.
That's the idea. It makes you wonder, what are those power nutrients the book keeps mentioning?
Yeah, how do we make sure we're getting enough of those antioxidants and all the other key nutrients?
Well, this is where it gets even more interesting, because the book breaks them down by decade. What your body needs in your 30s is different from what it needs in your 50s.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, our bodies change so much over time.
Exactly. And it's not about, following some complicated restrictive diet. It's really focused on helping you make sustainable changes.
Okay, I have to ask, does it have any recipes in it?
You're in luck.
Because I love to cook.
It's packed with like easy to follow recipes,
Okay.
all focusing on those power nutrients.
I'm sold. I'm
Yeah.
already feeling inspired to try some of these recipes and see what kind of difference they can make.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. The book really emphasizes that it's never too early or too late for that matter, to start taking control of your health.
And it sounds like this book gives you a really solid foundation for doing just that.
But hold on, I have another question. What if you're the kind of person who likes to be super prepared and know about, potential health risks?
Well, you're in for a treat because the book has a whole section dedicated to health risks and screening tests to be aware of
Oh, wow.
for each decade of your life.
So it's not just about feeling good now, but taking steps to prevent future problems.
Exactly. It's about being proactive, not reactive.
Okay, that's definitely something I need to hear more about. So tell me more about these screening tests. Like, what are some examples?
Well, he gets pretty specific. For example, he talks about the importance of mental health screenings
Okay.
for things like anxiety and depression.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's often overlooked.
Absolutely. And he emphasizes the importance of regular dental checkups.
I have to admit, I'm sometimes guilty of skipping those.
It's easy to do, but the book actually explains how your oral health can be like a window into what's going on in the rest of your body. Oh, that's fascinating. I never thought of it that way.
And of course, he covers the big stuff like, early detection for various cancers.
It sounds like this book covers all the bases.
Yeah.
But is there anything else that really sets it apart from other books on aging?
You know what really struck me is how engagingly he presents all this information. Like, it's not, a dry textbook read.
Right.
It's packed with all these inspiring stories about real people who have, transformed their health at different ages.
Oh, I love that. Give me an example.
Okay, so there's the story of Camille. She's a retired school teacher who was dealing with, all the typical aging things. Arthritis, high blood pressure, decreased mobility. She was really starting to feel her age.
That's so relatable. A lot of people experience those things.
Exactly. But Camille completely turned things around by, focusing on her diet and exercise and stress management. And her story is really powerful because it shows that positive change at any age can lead to real results.
So it's never too late to start making changes.
Exactly. And then there's Jackie, a high-powered marketing executive. She was burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
Long hours, fast food, no time for herself. Her health was really starting to suffer.
That's a classic story. Yeah, I know so many people like that.
But Jackie decided to make some changes, and she started, swapping out processed foods for whole, nutritious meals and making time for exercise.
It sounds like she made pretty simple changes, but they had a big impact.
You bet. Her
Yeah.
cholesterol levels dropped, her energy went up, and she just felt so much better overall.
These stories are so inspiring. It's like they personalize the information and make it feel relatable. It's not
Yeah.
just like abstract advice. You see how real people are actually applying these principles and seeing the benefits.
Exactly. And to top it off, he has these little sections called Dr. Ian's Tips sprinkled throughout the book.
Okay.
And they're like these little nuggets of wisdom for incorporating healthy habits into your daily life.
So like little actionable things you can start doing today.
Exactly. It's a fantastic reminder that it's never too late to take control of your health and your well-being.
This is making me super curious to read this book. I love how it combines the solid science with the real-life stories and the actionable advice. It sounds like such an empowering read.
I think you'll really enjoy it.
I think our listeners will too. We've covered a lot of ground already, but I feel like we've just scratched the surface of what Eat Your Age has to offer. So stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into the book's insights.
And one of the things I appreciate is that he really acknowledges that. Like, everyone is different. There's no one size fits all, right?
It's not about fitting into someone else's mold. It's about figuring out what works for you.
Exactly. And he encourages you to, kind of assess your current fitness level and set goals based on where you're at.
That's so important because I feel like a lot of people get discouraged when they try to do too much at once. It's about those sustainable changes.
Absolutely. And speaking of assessing your fitness, there's a whole section in the book about these fitness tests that I thought was really interesting.
Okay, tell me more about that. Are these like complicated tests? I need fancy equipment?
No, not at all. They're really simple. Like, for example, there's a 10-minute walking test.
Okay.
It's exactly what it sounds like. You walk for 10 minutes at a brisk pace, and you just kind of track your distance and heart rate.
I love that it's something that anyone can do no matter their fitness level.
Yeah.
But what makes it so insightful?
Well, he explains how your pace and your heart rate during this test can actually be a predictor of your overall health and longevity.
Oh, wow. That's kind of cool.
It's like this little sneak peek.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, that one. That's amazing how much info you can get.
Exactly. And, there's other tests too, like a push-up test, which can give you a good sense of your upper body strength.
I have a feeling I'd need to work on that.
Well, that's the thing. The tests aren't meant to make you feel bad. They're really tools to help you identify those areas where you might need to focus.
Yeah, it's about empowering you to take control, not feeling intimidated.
Right. And he really emphasizes, those small, consistent changes over time are so much more effective than like those drastic measures.
It's those habits that you can stick with.
And to help you with that, he has specific exercise recommendations for every decade, tailored to your body's changing needs.
So it's not a generic one-size-fits-all.
Exactly. He breaks down like strength training, cardio, balance training, and how often you should be doing it based on your age and your goals.
It's like a personalized plan right in the book.
It really is. And, we were talking earlier about how this book takes a more holistic approach to aging.
Right, it's not all just physical.
Exactly. And that's another thing I appreciate. It really emphasizes that, like, true health is about addressing all the aspects of your well-being.
Because you can't have a healthy body without a healthy mind.
Exactly. And he provides all these practical tips for, like, managing stress, cultivating those positive emotions, and really nurturing your mental health.
It's not about just adding years to your life, but life to your years.
Beautifully said. I think that captures it perfectly.
I know we've been throwing a lot of information at you, but honestly, we've only just begun to, explore the depths of this book.
It's a treasure trove, really.
So I'm curious, what's, resonated most with you so far? What sparked your interest?
For me, it's the combination of, that scientific credibility with the real-life inspiration. He seamlessly blends that cutting-edge research with the stories of real people who are, proof that you can age well.
It makes it feel believable and achievable.
Yeah.
It's not just some far-off ideal.
And let's not forget those delicious-sounding recipes.
Oh, yeah?
Personally, I'm intrigued by that lentil soup.
Ooh, yeah, I saw that, but I think I have my eye on the Asian quinoa stir fry. It sounds amazing.
I love how he emphasizes that flexibility. It's not about following a rigid diet. It's about, finding those healthy meals that you actually enjoy.
It's about making those sustainable changes.
Exactly. And it's about embracing the journey.
Okay, I'm officially hooked. I can't wait to read this book and start applying these ideas to my own life.
I think you'd be pleasantly surprised by how much it changes your whole perspective.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we wrap up our deep dive into Eat Your Age and leave you with some final inspiration for, taking on this whole aging thing with a new attitude. One of the things that really stood out to me was how Eat Your Age breaks down the aging process into decades, and it gives, specific advice for each stage of life.
Yeah, it really acknowledges that, what works in your 30s might not be the best approach in your 60s.
Right.
Our bodies change so much and our needs evolve with them.
It's like a personalized roadmap for healthy aging. It's
Yep.
not just generic advice. It's tailored to where you are in life.
Exactly. So, for example, he explains how your 30s are really about building a strong foundation. You're at the peak of your physical strength and energy, so it's the perfect time to focus on those healthy habits that are going to serve you well down the road.
So what are some of the key things he recommends focusing on in your 30s?
He emphasizes things like making sure you're getting enough sleep, managing stress effectively, and nourishing your body with those power nutrients we talked about. It's really about setting yourself up for success as you move into the next decade.
Makes sense. And then as you enter your 40s and 50s, the focus kind of shifts a little bit, right?
Exactly. That's the time when you might start noticing those subtle changes in your body. Your metabolism might slow down, and you might not recover from workouts as quickly.
I can definitely relate to that.
But he addresses those changes.
Yeah. How does he?
Well, he emphasizes the importance of adjusting your exercise routine and your diet.
Yeah.
To really match your body's evolving needs. He also talks about being more proactive, about preventing chronic conditions that become more common as we age, like heart disease, diabetes, and some types of cancer.
So taking steps now to protect your health long term. And what about the later decades, 60s and beyond? What are some of the things that he highlights for that?
He really emphasizes the importance of maintaining your strength, your flexibility, and your cognitive function, as you age. And he provides all these exercises and strategies for staying active and engaged, physically and mentally.
I love that because it's not just about living longer. It's about living well.
Yeah.
At every age.
Right. And one of the things I found really empowering is, he doesn't present aging as something to be afraid of or dreaded. It's actually like an opportunity for continued growth and transformation.
Embracing it instead of fighting it.
Exactly. And recognizing that, while there are challenges, there are also like incredible opportunities for wisdom, joy, and fulfillment.
Wow. This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
Me too.
I feel like I have a whole new perspective on aging.
I hope our listeners feel the same.
I know I'm going to be recommending this book to, like, all my friends and family. I think it's something everyone can benefit from.
I agree. And remember, it's never too late to start making those choices. That'll support your health and well-being.
So if you're curious about learning more about Eat Your Age and, living a vibrant life at any age, I really encourage you to check out the book. We'll include a link in the show notes.
And remember, this deep dive was just us scratching the surface. There is so much information and tips and inspiration.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring.
Until next time, happy diving.